Hi, welcome to Winging It. Rod and Carlos cook everything. I'm Rod.
I'm Carlos.
Today we're gonna do pizza. Pretty much everyone loves pizza, except my son Rowan. Hi, Rowan. He's the only guy I know that doesn't like pizza, but what we want to do is a real simple recipe that you guys can do at home. It's great, it freezes well, it refrigerates well, and it's real easy to make.
It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. Watch out now. It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Everybody watch out. Watch out now. I'm ready for a good time and I came to groove. The whole band's here and we came to move. Got a fresh haircut and 2 new shoes.
What I'm gonna do is go through the ingredients real quick. We have some simple all-purpose flour. You can get the high gluten kind or just the regular all-purpose flour, but we use just all-purpose flour. We have some extra virgin olive oil, some fine salt, some sugar, some yeast, and some water. The first thing we're gonna do is get the yeast prepared. It's very important. One of the tricks I've picked up from different people who've taught me to make pizza is you need to have the water right around 110 degrees, 110 to 115. You want it to be warm to the touch, but not hot to the touch. And you can use any kind of yeast you want, but through trial and error, we found that their fresh yeast works best. So we're gonna start with 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, and we put that right into the water. I've already temped the water. And the yeast needs something to eat, so we're gonna put 1/8 of a teaspoon of sugar in there. And we're gonna just kind of mix that up and let that start proofing while we put our other ingredients in. And proofing is just basically to make sure you don't have a bad batch of yeast, because you don't wanna waste all your other ingredients, find out you have a flat batch of yeast and then it doesn't work. So the first thing we're gonna do is take, it's about 24 ounces of flour. This recipe does depend on what the weather is, what the humidity is. Usually I use less flour than that, but yesterday when I made a batch, I realized I need a little bit more, so we'll go ahead and use 24 ounces. Then we have some extra water and flour if we need it. We add our salt to that, and that is a tablespoon of salt. And then we're gonna add the oil. It's a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. And then Carlos, if you could put that right in there.
Sure.
Usually I'm Carlos's assistant, but today I know pizza dough, so he's my assistant for this, at least for this particular segment. So then, once all that is done, basically, we're just gonna put it on the mixer until it all comes together. And you'll know it's ready because it'll come into a ball and it'll pull away from the side walls of it. And you can do this by hand, but I don't like kneading it by hand, but if you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, you can definitely do it by hand in a bowl. And we're just gonna wait until that comes together. You can speed it up a little bit. All right, if you see right now, it's pulled away from the walls. It's getting right where we want it. So we're gonna go ahead and turn that off. You want it to the point where it just comes together. You don't wanna beat it up too much because you don't want your dough to be tough and you want it to rise nicely. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to get the dough out of the mixer and we're gonna put it on a floured board. Make sure your hands are floured and that your board is floured. Otherwise, everything's gonna stick to your hands, it's gonna be a big mess. So this one, you just kind of... Lift it up over there, and you just turn it out right onto the board. There you go. Okay, put a little more flour on the top. And you just kind of shape it a little bit. Again, you don't want to work it too much with your hands. Now, if you were doing this for a big commercial operation, you would weigh each individual ball, but we're doing this for home, and we know that this much dough makes 4 pizzas. So basically cut it into 4 pieces. You get your bench scraper, 1, you cut it in half again, you cut it in half again, and then all you have to do is put it into balls, and then put it aside to rest. Basically what you're looking to do is get the dough to come up to about twice its size. So what I like to do is kind of just turn it in to itself until you get to the bottom. You get a little pinch there. And then my friend Bobby taught me this. He used to work in a pizzeria. You just throw it down, slam it down, that closes up. You got any kind of container that has a top on it. I've already pre-oiled this with some olive oil. You just drop it in so that little seam's on the bottom. You put a top on it, you just set it aside until it doubles in size. Should take about 30 minutes depending on the weather in the room. And then you're ready to go. All right, welcome back. As you can see, the dough has risen to about twice its size. So you can just take it out of these containers. Like I was saying before, you can use any container you want. These are like the containers you get if you order like some soup from the Chinese place or whatever. And you can use that. Just as long as you oil it, you're good. So like I was saying before, flour is very important. You don't want too much on it, but it's what's gonna keep it from sticking. So you just can gently kind of push it around the edges. You want it to come out in the shape of a ball because you want your pizza to be round. So just like that. So that came out pretty nice. Put a little bit more on the top. Okay, so the important thing is you want to kind of keep it in the shape of a circle. You want it to look homemade, but you don't want it to look all lopsided. So once you have it down, you don't want to work it too much because you want to keep the air in the pizza dough, and that's what makes it rise nice and makes it, you can keep it nice and thin. So you can just kind of pat it, keep turning it, keep it even.
Are you not gonna fry it?
Some people do that. I never have done that. I don't want flour in my dreadlocks.
Come on, you can do it. I want to see you do
maybe
it.
we'll try it. So once it gets to the size of about your hand, then you can pick it up and start kind of just stretching it. And the part around the edges is what's going to be like that rounder crust of your pizza. Now, Carlos is sitting here waiting for me to start tossing this pizza.
Yep.
That's not going to happen.
Uh-oh.
Not this time. Not this time. We'll wait till we're a little more established. Now, once you get it this big, you can bring it in both. You can bring it in both fists and kind of just spin it around. Right there. You bring it to about the size that you want, and
man, actually looks really nice.
Yeah, it's nice and stretchy. It's like again, using that high gluten flour. And then, Carlos, actually, can you put some of that cornmeal on there? This is the piece of peel right here. That's what you put your dough on once it's turned out. And what Carlos is doing right now is kind of like greasing the skids, because once you go to put this in the hot oven, thank you, you want the pizza to slide right off. So you kind of test it and make sure she's moving. See how it's moving right there? So that's good. So right there, that is a stretched out, relatively round pizza. Again, if you wanted to do a big New York style pizza, you could just, when you cut the dough, just make 2 instead of 4. So that's it as far as stretching dough. Next thing we're gonna do is top it, and that's it for stretching. We'll go over to Carlos for making the shrimp scampi topping.
All right, so we're gonna top it with our shrimp scampi as you request.
So now I'm the helper again now. Okay, all right, now back to normal now.
No, let's go see. We're gonna do a simple recipe for scampi that anyone can do at home, but this is actually gonna be a recipe that you can put over pasta if you like to too, because it's scampi, you know what I mean? So scampi basically is 3 ingredients, maybe 4 if you want to make it 5, if you want to add a little spice.
Okay.
One of the main ingredients in there is garlic, wine, olive oil, butter, lemon, and salt, pepper.
Now, use one of my favorite wines. You don't have to use a specific kind of wine, right?
No, definitely not. I mean, when I cook with any kind of liquor, I just go by what I have at home,
right,
which everybody should do that. You don't have to buy specific wine to cook something.
Right.
But they definitely work it out. So we're gonna do that.
I asked him to actually use this one, the Pinot Grigio, because it's hot, and I'm gonna drink some of that when we're done with the pizza.
All right, so we're gonna start out with, actually I forgot to mention that we have fresh, nice, peel and devine shrimp. 31/4 is the size. That means there's 31 to 40 shrimp in a pound.
Right, that's generally a good size because it will cook. Because we're going to be cooking the pizza fast. You don't want them too big, you don't want them too small, so they dry up. We find that's a good size.
Yeah, it's definitely a good size even for make a ceviche too. That we might probably do on the show later.
We should do a ceviche. Yeah,
definitely good.
Don't forget to let us know your ideas, what you want us to make next.
All right,
but
so we start up. We're gonna have the nice and hot pan, and we're gonna put a little, probably a teaspoon of oil. Can be olive oil to make a nice flavor like we have right now.
Okay.
Make sure they start getting nice and hot.
So you start with the pan hot already?
Yes.
Yep.
You gotta make sure.
Oh yeah, that's hot.
Yep. You hear it? Yep. It's nice.
Just torturing those shrimp.
Yeah. So we're gonna put the shrimp on. I'm gonna make sure the shrimp is nice seasoned garlic. So we're gonna wait a little bit till the shrimp start changing color.
Okay.
And then.
So what are, you said there's 4 ingredients. What are the ingredients?
That's garlic.
Yep.
Wine, butter, lemon. Then we're gonna add it like 2 spoons
butter.
of butter.
Okay.
And then we wait till the butter starts melting out.
Butter makes everything better. That's my number 1 ingredient for things. I never believed in margarine. Even when I was a kid, I knew something was wrong with margarine. So butter's the way to go.
We're gonna add 2 tablespoons fresh garlic, chopped garlic.
I think we can use a little more garlic. What do you think, man?
We're gonna use
too much garlic?
With the garlic, you have to go on the point that you don't want to put too much garlic. The garlic start burning.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna put more garlic.
Oh, good.
Okay,
all right. I thought you meant that's all the garlic we're using. So.
Yeah. So we're gonna see how already the shrimp start changing color. That means it's cooking nice and slow. Which that's what we want. We don't want to burn the shrimp.
Right.
So now that we got that, we're gonna open the wine.
It's our first time using this new burner. It's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it's good.
Good old Amazon.
So we're gonna have
a little fresh lemon.
Yep. Right.
I don't know why lemon goes so good with seafood, but every time you cook seafood, it's lemon. It just adds a nice something.
Freshness, right?
Yeah. Okay, so get those seeds out of there.
Yep.
So this scampi is going to be pretty much cooked. So once we put it on top of the pizza, we're really just cooking the pizza to get the dough brown and to get the cheese melted, and the shrimp will already be cooked.
Now we put that nice in there. The lemon is gonna be really, smells really good. So now we're gonna add a little bit of wine. I usually put like, for this much shrimp, we probably use like half a cup, maybe a little bit more. All depends on you.
Carefully measure the wine, as you can see.
Yeah. Okay. You cannot measure that goodness. All right, so now we got to wait till this is boil again, the boiling point, and maybe.
Now we're doing this in the commercial kitchen where with the gas, would you flame it a little bit? Would you?
Yes, definitely, because you need to cook up a little bit of wine. You don't want the wine is still there. Usually wine has a temperature with the alcohol, it starts evaporating like.
Right.
We taste only the sweetness of the wine, not the alcohol.
Right. But if somebody has an electric stove at home like we have right now, as long as you get it to the point where it's starting to boil a little bit, it'll get you to where you want to be, correct?
Yes. And that'd be great. In here we have a little bit of parsley. Yep. Change the nice color. Some people put like rushed red peppers.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
It's just visually, it's gonna be like sometimes you eat with your eyes.
Yeah.
So that's what it means. I mean, as of right now, it's looking good. We're gonna add a pinch of salt, pepper.
Now that's interesting what you were saying about the garlic, because a lot of times you'll read a recipe, it'll say use this much garlic, and people throw it in right away. You're saying this way, let that cook, let the temperature come down, throw some more garlic in throughout the process.
Yes, I mean
that's a good tip.
Couple of things is like when you cook with fresh garlic, you cannot cook the garlic first. It's gonna burn out.
Right.
Only if you simmer down something or you cook in a low temperature, you can put the garlic on. You're not gonna see the garlic's gonna turn over black right away. That happened to me before.
Right.
When you read a recipe you're trying to do, it's like you put something quick and it burns up and the flavor changes totally. But
see, this show we're teaching people. I just learned something myself. 55 years, I never knew that.
Then we're gonna put a little bit more.
I just said my age on YouTube. 38 years, and I never knew that.
So we're gonna just a little bit. And then
maybe you can edit that out later.
There you go. Now when that's cooking now,
okay.
What we're gonna do is chop out the
scallions.
The scallions they use, right?
Now, do they have these in Ecuador?
Yes.
How are they called in Ecuador?
Cebolla verde. Okay. O cebollín.
We were going to do this show in Spanish, then I realized I don't speak Spanish, so I'm just going to ask Carlos every now and then how you say something in Spanish.
All right, so the scampi is about to be done.
Okay.
We can simmer down now, and anytime you're ready, we can put on the pizza.
All right, we're back. The scampi is all made for the pizza. A very important thing to do is take any extra wine, and there's no such thing as extra wine, so you just take some wine, and it helps make a good pizza if you drink some wine. Any cooking, really, I would say, right, Carlos? If you have a little.
Wine is good.
Not when we're working hot rods, though, we don't. But if you're doing the home cooking, it's okay to.
That's right.
Have a little wine. It just helps make the pizza cook better, I think. That's for you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Salud.
Cheers. Salud. Salud.
All right. Great. So, like I said before, the cornmeal, when you put the dough onto the peel, you want to make sure it moves. See how that's moving? Because if you don't, you're gonna get all top, beautiful. You're gonna go to slide it in onto the pizza stone, or we're using a pizza steel today, and your pizza's gonna stop, but your toppings aren't. And it's gonna be all over the bottom, and that's coming from experience. So Carlos, if you could go ahead and bring over,
sure,
and just kind of put some of the sauce down. This is sort of be like our sauce to give that nice garlic flavor all over. Every bite you bite into is gonna have some garlic, a little bit. Okay. Cool. And then he's gonna just kind of. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put some cheese down, and I'm gonna come back and top it with the shrimp. Well, this isn't a real cheesy pizza. It's just a little bit of mozzarella, and then we hit it with the Parmesan, and the combination of two different cheeses go particularly well with the shrimp and the garlic. So I think that's probably just about enough mozzarella. Try to leave a little room around the edges, and if you can come top it with that. I kind of like to place the shrimp evenly around it, so if you're on a date or with your family, everyone gets the same amount of shrimp. There's no fighting.
But if you make this at home, you should put a whole pound of shrimp on it.
Right, exactly. Well, the thing is, this is a nice thin crust the way we make it, so you don't want it to be like falling over. But you're right. At home, you can do it. If you are crazy about garlic, you can load this thing. You can have more garlic than shrimp if you want. All right, cool. And this Parmesan, I just like to sprinkle a little bit over it. Just gives that little bite. It makes it a little different. Now we need a little color. And like Carlos was saying, normally there'd be, what'd you say you normally use?
Parsley.
Parsley. But this, we find that the scallions give it a nice little bite, nice little flavor. And it just looks nice too when it cooks. And I think that's good. So we just give it a little test again, make sure it's moving. Still moving. Oh, one more, again, one more. And then next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get this baby in the oven, and then we're gonna eat it. All right. All right, now it's time to put the pizza in the oven. Looks like it's still moving, that's good. So a lot of people at home, including me, don't have a pizza oven at home. It'd be great too, but some people have pizza stones. I just bought something called a pizza steel. And today's the first time we're working with it. So I'm gonna open the oven here. You'll see there's a little thin piece of steel there. It's really, really heavy. It doesn't look as heavy as it is, but it's very heavy. I've had it in a 500-degree oven for over an hour now, so it's good and hot in the oven. And I'm just gonna take this pizza and slide it onto the steel. Then we close it up and let it do its magic. All right, now it's time to take her out. Oven open. I'm really liking this pizza steel. We'll definitely buy some more of these. All right, there it is.